Hello, penny pinching tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play some more Final Fantasy Renaissance challenge mode of a sort with me, BlueAnkylo. Um, we are doing a specific run to get some achievements, and maybe a slight addition to that being I added a couple stipulations. Real quick, it's only episode 2, so I'll make sure I'm keeping these highlighted. But the objective here is to get never go to an inn, don't spend too much money, and never buy weapons or armor. And I expanded this to include never buying spells, and almost spending nothing at all, other than buying the bottle. I think, realistically speaking, I want to be able to buy tents, but I haven't bought a heal potion yet, or any other type of potion, or cabin or house. So if possible, I will only buy tents for saving purposes, and otherwise be completely self-sufficient. But without being able to save, these kind of runs are kind of a pain, and we're already saving less than normal, which makes some areas a bit harder. But there is definitely a way to route out a path through the game, just using the free tents and cabins, and especially having a thief, you actually get a fair number of bonus tents and stuff as you play through, which makes it definitely possible, but I think I've thought about it a bit between episodes. It's not as fun for me to record if every time I die or reset, I have to go back half an hour or an hour of lose all the progress, basically. Now, I did grind a few levels. I think we were level 4 or 5 at the end of last episode. This group is... it's actually not that difficult, I would say. Like, the early game is reasonably easy to survive battles and re-heal and recharge every fight with this group. The bards are decent, but I actually think I'm very much on the case that recharging a bard song via hiding is not the best. Given the bard basically never... Sorry, this music's a bit loud in my ear. Given that the bard... I can turn that down too a little bit. Just in general, for me. Okay, so the fact that the bard doesn't really kill things, or, like, of 4 characters party, the bard is generally not directly speeding up winning the fight. So all they're really doing is providing passive bonuses depending on the songs they use to the other 3 people. Giving themselves that bonus doesn't even really matter, right? Like, they don't get a value out of a damage up. They don't get a value out of a crit up or a magic damage up. So the personal buffs are mostly useless. It's mostly to give the other 3, and they're a little bit like... So damage up is pretty good for the black belt and the thief, but the geomancer doesn't care either. So it's like some of the buffs are only for 1 or 2 of your allies. So you're losing an action in combat to make 1 or 2 other people a little better. Sometimes a significant amount. I've heard that the luck bonus here, 8+ luck bonus, it's 10% of your luck, I think. Which is only like +1 or 2 right now. So in theory, we're getting +9 or 10 absorb, and 9 or 10 attack damage bonus. Based on just luck. Now you could maybe Heroes Rhyme first, and you get +2 or 3. I'm not sure if that would work, but that would also be worse, because it would be 2 turns slower to get your real buffs online. And I think the speed at which the bard buffs the party is very slow. And it's very easy to lose if they get put to sleep or paralyzed coming into the next dungeon. They're good, but I don't like how slowly they charge. I think it's one of these jobs that maybe at level 1 they get 1 spell, or 1. It's not like they have 1 of each. It's just 1 total. Whereas the Geomancer keeps track individually per spell level. I kind of think the bard either should have it keep count like the Geomancer and then recharge 1 of each on a hide, or you just start with 2, or start with 1 and get to 2, 3 pretty quickly, so you don't have to constantly be hiding. Hiding is not a good use of your action generally, unless you want to dodge an attack, but usually we're only hiding so we can continue buffing. And it just means that it takes probably... Well, you can do 1 buff on turn 1, which is, I mean, that's better than nothing. But then you don't get your second buff until turn 3, and that's starting to be pretty slow. So suffice to say, I have found that this group is very slow at killing enemies. It's pretty safe, even with literally like no purchasable armor or weapons. Winning a fight isn't particularly difficult in the early game. At least, we're just going into Marsh. We're about to hit a difficulty spike. But grinding was very slow. Regardless, let's get to it. I know I'm spending a bit of time here, but my summary so far is this is not incredibly a difficult challenge, but the battles are pretty slow to win. Now, thinking about, can we kill scums and stuff down here right now? Like, the ghouls are annoying because of the stun touch and the triple attacks. We don't have a great... I mean, we have close in, which is AoE. We have some damage up. This is the same set we had at... this is the same set we had in the Chaos Shrine with Garland. I didn't come into the Marsh Cave, but it remembered, because we never go to an inn, it remembers our terrain stacks from past dungeons, which is kind of a neat little thing, I suppose, but... Chasm. I mean, that was some damage. Yeah, so I think Marsh is going to be incredibly difficult? I don't know. I think we're good at running, so I should also have the thief on the top slot. Fight control. I think our chance to escape battle will be pretty good. Also, these guys hit pretty hard. You might want the armor to not die to those guys. Now, we are at the point where we're going to start getting some loot, finally, that we can equip. I think there's even a harp in here. So Marsh is really good for us as a no equipment run, because depending on your party, this is where we're going to finally start getting some, you know, passable equipment, let's say. And I do think I can generally trust that we can win most of these fights. So we can, like, I don't think I need to run from everything because we're going to die and lose all our progress. I'm actually pretty confident we can win these most of the time. Like, I don't think we're going to... It's not like a solo run where I predict we will restart 10 times to win here. We're only level 8, which is, I think, a decent level for Marsh in a strong party. Usually, you definitely want to bring some heal potions and stuff. I wonder... No, this fight, if you're poisoned, I don't really want to waste pure potions if I can help it. I think close-in will just kill them all, right? Well, let's see what we get on random. These guys don't actually do any real damage. I don't know, not much for the bard to do here. If I had a harp, we could kill them with the harp. We do know that, but... Magic damage and crits, or armor piercing, basically. So Chakra gets rid of poison... And we hide, yeah, the lots of menu inputs and a lot of slowly building up our strength. It definitely means, like, maybe I should just ran away, I don't know. But the thing is, trying to stay here. I don't want to have, I'm just trying to avoid the poison. It's kind of annoying that you can't just cleanse poison for free if you have a black belt, right? Like, because you can just do it in battle. It just takes 2 turns to remove any poison effect, which means I shouldn't have to buy pure potions, right? Okay, let's try to get them down to just a single scum, so it's less likely that we get immediately poisoned again. Hopefully it doesn't happen. And then we need to do some magic damage. I don't think we can actually get our attack high enough to pierce their armor, but... maybe. Good, we got the magic. So there, it takes a bit, like, that was a pretty slow fight, but we ended up at full power, right? Like, full HP. And there we go, another upgrade. I will give it to our Geomancer for now. 6 armor, 8 armor, and no armor still. But hey, that's pretty good for a run where we can't buy anything. Short sword, and to the right will be another item. This is unusable. Another, not even worth selling, really. There's no point. This again. Jeez, can we just run, please? Dang it. Well, we can make one person immune to poison. I'll make it the second most likely to get hit. It's kind of a shame that that doesn't cleanse it either. Like, equip... Ooh, this fight is bad. That's a lot of damage. We could easily die to 2 scorpions if we don't run away quickly. Fine, they gave me a free pure potion. I should just use it. Frustrating. I should probably use this fight to heal up a little bit. Yeah, let's try not to accidentally kill them all. And armor first and then regen, I think. HP management, I think, is the biggest thing early on. With low armor in general, and not being able to buy heal potions and tents. At least, I'm trying not to use tents to heal specifically. Just, you know, my tents are for saving. But, yeah, 1 bone shouldn't do too much damage. Between a couple chakras and some regen, we'll be okay. But yeah, this definitely slows it down, right? Like, I don't have to explain it. This is a slower general progression than a lot of parties, but it's interesting. I would say that I'm enjoying this challenge so far. Getting through the early game without using an inn, like literally never going to an inn, is kind of cool. As well as kind of some of the other levels. And building the party, actually. Coming up, I think there's some other party compositions that would be pretty similar, but this one feels really good. More of these scums. You scumbags. Let's get out of here. Okay, no poison that time. Okay, I will use one of my precious tents just to lock that in. I don't think there's a huge chance we die in this dungeon, but it's not 0. And I happen to know that there's a free tent over here. So thanks to having a thief, bonus save. Definitely not going to deal with the crawls. Not worth it. Shadows, not particularly dangerous. Maybe not worth it. I think optimally you would heal to max every fight, because we're not using heal potions to heal to max. So if you're trying to be careful, that would be a good play. Alright, we got some more stuff here. You know, because I don't want to have to buy these later. Bit of extra running around accidentally, but that is pretty good to have. And I don't think this has any value, but depending on the party composition, if you're doing a no armor run, this is pretty good if you have a trainer. I think I said a trainer might be pretty fun for putting... I think one good tank in this party would make a big difference. And in Marsh, we can get either bone armor or iron armor. And maybe you don't want a thief, necessarily. So you could replace the thief with just a fighter, and then you get an iron armor in here, and you'd be doing okay. Because then you'd have a really good front row tank. This fight's gonna hurt a bit. Yeah, okay, not too bad. Should heal up, though. There is one more heal potion. It's a long walk. It's probably not worth it. Well, maybe. Okay, treasure floor. The only question I have is, can I actually defeat the wizards? There's the iron armor I was mentioning. I hadn't really thought of the wizards very much. They might kill somebody, because our basic absorb is bad. Especially if we fight 4 wizards. Maybe I should just go straight to the wizard battle. Because it... I mean, there's a couple pieces of armor here that do help a little bit. But... yeah. Okay, let's see if we can get an easy fight that I can just heal off of. This is probably okay as long as we kill one. Get that arm up. The mucks get pretty hard, but... Oof. If Yang dies immediately... then I'm mad. It's not worth it. Alright, I don't know. We can't... It's not that we can't... I'm probably gonna have to reset and try again. Yeah, I mean, let's see how this goes. 2 is even the man. How rude. I wish I'd had a chance to charge this up. Non-elemental is pretty good, but these guys are just gonna destroy us, right? One of them. Bad turn order for defense. Our healing is negligible. Already dead. We maybe should have just gone for random terrain damage magic from the beginning. I mean, there's a chance we get through this. Maybe. Okay, we got everything back. I think Carve model is likely to do the most non-elemental damage, I suppose. We won! But I don't feel very good about using these heal potions, given I'm trying not to buy any ever. Let's see if we can get out. Let's put the bard out top. We're a bit better at running, dodging ambushes. It's bad. It's real bad. Yeah, that muck killing the black belt. I mean, maybe it set us up for the 2 wizard battle, so maybe it was worth it. Maybe 4 wizards would have just killed us. I mean, it's possible we get out of here on our first try. Just with 2 deaths, and our XP will never be equal again. It did cost me a lot of heal potions, which is something I've been trying to avoid. But I guess it's not the end of the world. We can run back, and it's not very expensive to raise dead. So hey, we made it on the first try, strictly speaking. And even if I hadn't bought the tents, we would have had enough to save. Getting back is going to be a bit rough here, too. Yeah, this is where if you didn't use saves... Oops, whatever. I saved. But yeah, if you don't have enough tents, some of these, like, you survive a very difficult dungeon, but then you also have to get all the way back to town. And that's just RNG, right? We don't want to do that. Good fights, but hey, you know, we made it. We made it. Okay, well, how much is that? I should try to keep track of how much gold I'm spending. It's cheaper if you go back to... So, you know, it's not like I'm trying to spend 0 gold. But if you were trying to do a 0 gold run, anyone dead would be permadead. Oh, not this. And then freaking poison again, man. I can fix that without spending money in a second here. Because now we're by Imp Town. And so yeah, 40 gold each. Saved me 320 gold, I think. Oh, but when you... Yeah, we don't have a way to heal up. Okay, well, let's see what happens if you can... This is silly. Because I'm just going to use a tent. I'm not going to mess around. It is possible with 1 hit point. You know, you could get an encounter before I am poisoned to death. What in the actual crap game? Now that I'm poisoned, I'm going to take 100 poison damage and get no encounters ever. What the freaking crap, man? Are there no encounters here? Like, what is going on? Ugh. Sorry, guys. Getting a little angry. One of the rare times when I need an encounter before taking too much damage. Okay, I can't hide yet because I need to clear the poison, and then you can hide. Turn order for hide is also a bit weird. Better not die. He's trying to get Sunbath to go, but you know. Yeah, this part, not great. Of course, we get it randomly after the bard leaves. The turn order, I think hide would be better if it was always first or even always last. Either option would actually be better. Just so you could plan your turns around it, basically. Yeah, because now we missed both heals. He hid too early and unhid too slow, you know. Funny. Okay. I mean, now that we're regenerating, it's just a matter of time if I want to wait. Okay, we got that through. I think, input-wise, it's probably quicker to do something like this and just let the heals go through. I don't know, maybe. Oh, freaking, it just throws off. The fact that the inputs are different every time you go through the bar just really throws me off. I've talked about it before. I actually had a lot of comments on the one of my past runs where I was frustrated by the same thing with the bard, and now, I don't know how many runs later, a couple months later, oh yeah, it's still there. Nothing's changed on that front. Okay, so hey, you know, we dealt with Marsh pretty smoothly, other than the deaths, but no game overs, right? Like, that's pretty good. Okay, I think I'm done. Healed up enough to play. Alright, so how do we feel about Astos? How do we defeat that? We're gonna get rubbed again. Can Geomancy just deal with Astos on its own? Because no one else is gonna do damage. Astos has too much base absorb. We don't have any really good weapons. I'm just gonna start dropping stuff we can't equip because there's no point. And I don't want to sell it and accidentally buy money and ruin my achievement. Let's travel back down. There is some more stuff in Marsh that we could theoretically go back for, I guess. Let me check my list. There's money. There's a great axe. There's all the locked stuff. What are those numbers on the map? 10, 5, and 4. Money. Share a link chest we already got. And more money. Okay, all there is money and a great axe available. There is a buckler searchable in a room we can't get to. And more money. So there's like 1,000 gold and a great axe available right now. Not worth going back for, I don't think. And a heal potion, technically. Okay, so no point to rush to Marsh for any treasure. I mean, I guess we could save and in front of Astos and see what happens. It's not like I have 0 tents, you know, it's fine. Wolf attacks, hate this. Okay, this is a good one for healing up, I think. Still defense first, I think, makes the most sense. Okay, we might just kill them immediately. Alright, we're in good shape for healing up. Let's try to set this up a little bit again. I suppose this is a party that the healing staff might be viable, maybe. Defense, now we got regen. The good news is the regen will be better as we level up, you know. Like it, same percentage, of course, but just more HP means more total healing. We might need to get the black belt to the 4 attack threshold for Astos. I'm not sure yet. But it's basically down to the Geomancer. If the Geomancer can do enough magic damage, then we should be okay. Okay, one more round of healing and then I think we're done. Well, again, the Bard's a bit low, but who cares about the Bard? Bard doesn't even get armor. Kind of maybe should have let the Geomancer recharge his terrain a bit there, I guess. Okay, yeah, I did burn through all my heal potions. I mean, I can always decide to buy a few. It's not the end of the world, but I'm trying to stick to some of my rules. I do have one house. How... Yeah. I mean, 10% crit rate. Honestly, if you had... 2 more levels. I guess level 10 is when the monk gets 4 hits, right? And that'll be 10 crit base, 20% crit on 4 hits. That might be enough. I don't want to have to grind there if I can help it. But, you know, it's an option. And I already looted this place, so let's see. Let's just see what this looks like. I feel like the armor isn't going to make a huge difference. Ooh, we actually dodged the rub. If only my solo characters could be so lucky. Okay. Damage and even more. You know what? That is crit. That is crit. Okay. Base damage plus more damage plus crit damage. Let's see. 32 on a crit. 44 on a crit. Slowed. Doesn't matter. I don't have multiple hits yet. Maybe we'll random up. Maybe you can stack it with the terrain effect, you know. Regen might be the most useful next. Bit more armor. Recharge could be good. We're actually doing more damage than I expected. I think dodging that first rub really set the tone. Assuming those stack and we don't get killed by AoE magic, which that's why regen was probably the right play. Maybe we go for magic damage now that we're getting nearly at the end here. The armor, he did fast himself, so if he attacks, he does a lot of hits. Well, we got him. First try. Phew, easy. Barely a challenge. Alright, I didn't think that would scale so well. But you know what? That Geomancy spell plus the Valor Minuet, I did call that on the Black Belt those will buff him up pretty effectively. I thought I might need 4 hits rather than 2, but 2 was enough. So that's pretty cool. Like, this is a pretty low-level party. I definitely feel like we're at a pretty low level at this point for killing Astos. I would say most groups that kill enemies quicker and have access to, like, Fire 2, Lightning 2 to grind easier, I would probably be a higher level by now just to buy, like, silver swords and stuff. Of course. Black belt does get the M defense growth at least. I don't know what Hero's Rhyme really does for us, but sounds heroic. Okay, let's see if we can get these kills. Sure, good enough. Because certainly we're only level 8, you know. Not gonna fight wolves or nothing, but yeah, let's go do our fetch quest. So that was a technically first try, and technical is the best kind of correct. Technically correct is the best kind of correct. A first try Marsh and a first try Astos. Yes, the wizards managed. Well, technically a random encounter killed my black belt, and then the wizards killed one more. That's got to be on the lucky side of wizard fights, but hey, that was a really lucky targeting on the single target random healing there. Geomancer, I think in different group compositions, people are like, the Geomancer's pretty weak, Blue. I almost went to the inn just on autopilot. Don't go to the inn. I gotta be really careful. So it's nice to be like, you know what? I always thought the Geomancer was good, although it has some weak points, definitely. It's I think, of the new Renaissance jobs, I think it might be one of the more underrated ones, in that it's kind of weaker than comparable black mages and stuff, and red mages and blue mages and time mages. Pretty much anyone that has magic. It's a magic casting class that's base magic damage is kind of on the low end, but they're not that bad. You know, it's just, sure, if you have someone who does tons of damage, why use Geomancy when you can just kill everything with lightning too, right? But yeah. But it does add a lot of tactics, and I do really like some of the, like, support, like the damage up buffs, right? Like, those are surprisingly potent, and they combo pretty well with the Bard stuff, as it turns out. So I hadn't really thought about that when I was building this party, not super in-depth anyway. I was mostly just thinking, how do I get through the beginning when I have no healing and no ins, and not enough money? So that was kind of how I built my party. And it seems to be working, you know? And then I also was like, well, as long as we can get through the early game, as long as we have a black belt, we can always grind to the point where we can kill chaos, right? Like, as long as you got a black belt in your party, there's never really a bottleneck in the late game bosses. You might have a hard time early on, but, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of Renaissance black belt runs. It might be my least used class, because I do think they're a little boring in general. But, you know, no weapons. Technically don't need armor. They've got better absorb than anyone else in this group, which is, you're not saying much, but technically true. The best kind of technically. Maybe the best kind of true? I don't know. Alright. So now we get our key. That unlocks some more stuff. What of this stuff do we need? A lot of it is garbage, because we can't equip it, and we don't need the money for selling it, so there's not a whole lot of value. There is a harp in Northwest Castle, Astos' castle. I will go there, but let's get the easier, closer stuff sort of out of the way, done with. We could also pick up the Rune Blade. It's pretty good on the Thief, especially against the Lich. And we don't have a lot of weapons, and that's the best Thief weapon we get. So, might as well pick it up, I think. Once we have a harp and a sword for our Thief, like a real sword. So you could have 2 fighters, because now you'd have 2 iron armors. A little bit late, but you do get enough stuff for them eventually. Sure. For a very short term, the silver knife is an upgrade, and depends on our hit rate. It's slightly better until we get 2 more level ups, and then whatever. Doesn't really matter. And technically we can equip Iron Staff. Hey! Mostly none of that matters, but whatever. Small upgrades, right? Let's go pick up the Rune Blade, Wear Blade. I don't... Actually, the Wear Blade is worthless because the Thief, for some reason, can't use that magic sword. I don't know why. It doesn't really make sense. It's probably the worst of the... whatever you want to call these. This tier of sword, these are... The Rune is one of the better ones. The Dragon Sword is technically 1 more damage, but you're not going to be fighting a lot of dragons right now. I mean, I guess I'll pick it up while I'm here. It's mostly just for completion's sake. Maybe I'll heal up Yang a little. Maybe. Gotta save again before too long. Actually, there's a soft potion beside here. In a solo run, it doesn't... Usually that's not very valuable. For this run, it's better than normal. Okay, please give me... I'm gonna have to fight some imps again. No, we don't want to fight ghouls. Not really worth it. Alright, let's heal up, I guess. I guess. Great. Might as well do a little bit. Hey, look at that rune sword dealing actual real damage. You're welcome. Guess you can just wait for a bit. I wonder... I feel like Chakra is a little bit underpowered. Like, it's another one of those free abilities, so I shouldn't complain too much. But it does take 2 turns. Any healing... It's like, at the moment, it's way worse than a healing staff. Now, it should scale a little bit, but... I don't know. I guess curing poison is nice. It usually doesn't really matter. But we're getting basically a heal staff worth of healing. It's not... And a heal staff you could use every turn, right? Now, we're early game, you don't have a heal staff, so it's not like that's an option. That's an easy trap to get into. I get it in the comments sometimes. People are like, oh, you know, because item magic exists, you have to balance classes and skills as if you have the mage staff or something. And it's important to remember that you can't get any of those until basically the end of the game. Like, I know it's not literally the end of the game, but... The earliest item magic is the Zeus Glove, which requires the canoe at the very least. And it is a bit out of the way. And the other ones, the Mage Staff, Thor Hammer, Light Axe for Harm 2, the Black Shirt, they're all locked behind Airship and therefore promotion. Or not locked behind promotion, but you know, why wouldn't you? Which means item magic is basically only for the last third or quarter of the game, kind of the easy part, so to speak. And you get them at the point where if you have a black mage or something, you're doing level 3 tier spells rather than level 2 tier spells. So normally item magic is worse than the abilities that you have at the time that you get the items that cast magic, is what I'm trying to say. So early game, you probably shouldn't compare skills to free casting items because you don't have access to those free casting items. I feel like I'm missing my point here a little bit, though. Good, we get hammers now. Alright, is anything here useful? Nope. Is anything here useful? Maybe. I mean, we're just gonna start dropping stuff. Can't use the Wear Sword. Saber's worse than the Rune. Silver Dagger's worse than the Rune. I'll hold on to the Dragon Sword because it works against Dragon-type enemies. Although, what is it? Yeah, it is 1 more damage and a bit more crit. So I guess in general we want to use this. But this will be better against Lich, the Eye, a few enemies. So might as well keep them both. Seems smart. Alright, so now we go back to northwest, because there's our first harp there, our first searchable harp, and some other junk. And then I think we actually go all the way back to the bottom of Marsh. Free silver bracelet is very important in a group that can't buy them, which normally you just buy one for everyone once you get to Melman, but not going to happen. And there is an anti-undead slaying harp, which gives our bard a different option. And against stun dead packs in earth and ice, will probably be pretty helpful, I think. I mean, bard damage is rarely, you know, something to write home about, and our levels are pretty low, but it might be something to try at least. Bats, please. Also, hopefully I sound a little better today. It's a new day. I still think I'm a little bit sick, like last episode, but I'm feeling better right now. Okay, anti-spellcaster, actual harp. The good news is harps technically ignore armor and hit all enemies and never miss. So there's some nice things there. The damage is pretty low, but our group is kind of low damage right now. So it's an option. The really annoying thing, and I think it's not great, is that you can't attack with the harp while playing music to give buffs from the harp. I think that's a mistake. I think the bard should not lose songs while attacking. I think it's fine to make a choice. Do you put a buff on or attack? But I don't think it should be charge up 4 buffs and then do nothing. You know, at the very least, you should have the option of attacking. At least in my opinion, you know, without losing everything you set up. Let's see how much damage it's going to do anyway. Our general damage output there is pretty good. Yeah, okay, the bard damage is going to be bardy. Spoony, let's call it. It will work good against those scums, so, you know, if that's something you want to fight, now that we have... Normally you'd be able to buy a... Of course, normally you just buy one. But, the harps... The bard does give you a couple enemies you can kill, but... I would say that's a pretty niche utility. Okay, we're gonna heal up a little bit because we're gonna go back into Marsh, and Marsh sucks. And hey, we got the spider paralyzed. That's pretty handy for grinding purposes. Be kind of nice if one of the bard songs gave you like poison resistance or paralyze resistance or something like that. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be an option. Like, maybe Hero's Rhyme should give you some... Like, the morale and luck, I don't know. That seems pretty pointless. I'd rather this 4th song that you get in Elfland right before Marsh protected you from some of the statuses. Maybe, like, not for the whole battle, but you prevent 1 status per character until you reuse the spell, right? Reuse the song. Would that be too much? Seeing as we got a long paralyze here, we'll just regen up a little bit more on Yang. His damage, though, that's just level 8. We're getting there. 16 damage, not too much, but it's getting there. Of course, we take 20 damage right before we start. Undo half the healing. That's fine. We'll use another tent. I'll probably buy a few more before Earth, just because. I guess with this group, there's not much need to go to Crescent Lake as a shop. Is there? Alright, let's just... We probably could have run from that fight, but we took like 30 or 40 damage instantly, and I didn't buy any heal potions, so we are... actually, hold on. Well, this is okay. But I should have had the Thief in the top slot. Every time you reset it, it kind of messes that up. See how much damage our harp does. I mean, it's some. It's just not enough. That one does the job. Of course, then we're poisoned. And I'm trying not to run out of pure potions. Which means we need another encounter that we can use to fix Oh, it's the worst. This might be, in this group, the absolute worst encounter. So there's like one random heal potion somewhere. I keep... Okay, we're just gonna have to chill here for a bit. Sucks. But yeah, this is where the... I don't want to kill them accidentally. This is where the shortage in healing items really start to hit us. And even just the pure thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad we can... like, if I didn't have the black belt to remove poison, we would be running out of... Like, if you don't buy pure potions, you're going to run out. Like, you don't get enough, I don't think, to handle the amount of times you will be poisoned on a typical run. And if we're not buying heal potions, you can't really heal through them. And I guess you could stay poisoned, but use regen strats to heal every... Like, to fully heal every battle once. I don't know. That sounds a bit unfun. Hey, we got the chasm. Nice. I should try to heal, though, more than... I don't want to kill the enemies until... Like, seems we're all set up here. Let's just try to heal a little bit, because the next fight could be scorpions again. Yeah. Good. One scum is what I was aiming for, so... We've got defense and regen. There's not much else that matters. If anything, the morale up song could even ruin it, because if that puts our morale too high, then the enemies run away, and that breaks my my regeneration dance, whatever you want to call this. But yeah, this is pretty slow. I hope this doesn't last the whole game. One more round and then I'll just kill it, I think. Yeah, one more round, I said. And poisoned instantly. Maybe the black belt should just be immune to poison, because he can just cleanse it at any point. I don't know, that might... Was that too strong? I don't know. The green mage is immune to poison. It doesn't matter. It barely changes anything. Anyway, we're fully healed. Let's see if we can get a kill here, maybe. Good. Okay, not really worth my time, but we did heal up at least. Well, worth my time, but not in terms of XP, I guess. Okay, so, let me look at my map. I think it's bottom left for the silver bracelet. Friggin' gargoyles, man. Why are you so strong? I think if we had better turn order, we'd get the night mini off immediately. So does that mean we're stuck in this loop where we do one fight, run away, and then we're just like, well, I guess we gotta slow regen back to full every fight? Oh, I really hope we can find a better solution in the long run. This is not ideal, I don't think. I'll do another train. I mean, I am grateful for the removal of poison and stuff. Not being able to control it's a bit finicky. Okay, there's some garbage here. Try to avoid the extra encounters. That is good. Now, I can give it to Yang, and he can go from 8 to 15. But honestly, I think... Oh, we already had a spare. If I get another silver bracelet, I will do that. Maybe for now, I put the thief in the top slot. It just kind of gives us the highest total absorb, basically. Also, the thief is immune to poison, so that's a little bit less likely. I think, yeah, we switched from tanking on the black belt to the thief for a little while. Last time I tried to heal off these guys, it was a disaster. Just by the way. But I at least want to get rid of my my poison effect here, if I can. me. Whatever. Can't run away, actually. Or can't hide, or I'll miss it. Good. A little bit of extra armor, that's fine. Bit of healing, that's good. I think we just kill. Definitely gonna kill with all these, yeah. Nice. Yeah, okay. It's coming together. You know, it's not easy, but we are getting there. I think this is my harp. Although it is guarded by wizards on both left and below, I think. So this could be a bit rough, especially because we're not healed up. I have one heal potion. It's cobras. I think it's... Is it wizards to the left, cobras to the south? I don't know. But we can run from those either way. Oh, okay, that was the wrong one. That was garbage. Maybe it's this next one. Let's try to heal up a little bit then. I know. I guess we'll try to kill one. You never know. If this kills both, angry. Good. Perfect. Alright, let's give it a couple turns. Try not to do this for too long. Might as well armor up as well, I guess. Oop, that was the wrong one. This shouldn't matter. I think we'll just do one more round of healing. Well, I say that. If I do have to fight wizards for this harp, maybe I should go all the way. I know. It's not like you got anything better to do right now, right? Just slowly heal up off of a scum. We stay until Vaughn kills him with a crit. No. Kill him this turn. Maybe. Yeah. 42 XP. Yeah, definitely not really worth that. Okay, this room might have a wizard. I don't remember. It doesn't. Okay, the treasure to the right is like a bit of gold, and it's guarded by a wizard pack, which is something we're definitely going to try to avoid. So the question will be, if I want to use one of these, it's probably the Ash, even though it's a little bit less damage. The things we hate are undead. And it also has more hit rate, which means in 3 levels, at level 11, this will actually be pretty good at killing undead. I'm not in a huge rush to grind that out, but that might help in... what am I trying to say? That might help in Earth, and certainly Ice if we get it by then. Wonder if there's any more silver bracelets we can steal. Mirror? That's useless. So that's one of the rare cave magics. Clearly I have not memorized them or anything. The secret rare ones are, well, kind of unlikely to ever... Like, you can't select them or anything, so it's kind of weird. They just pop up randomly like that. I missed a buckler. Oh, should I get that? Ah! It is actually an upgrade for our group, my bad. It's a thief search that I definitely forgot about. Alright. Hopefully we don't die to random encounters and spend too much time here. Come on, team, run away. They're just freaking... Vaughn, you know what? We can get here. Search there, get a buckler. Yeah. Interestingly, geomancers can equip bucklers. Did I know that? I don't think I knew that. I mean, it barely makes a difference, but... I guess technically geomancers have slightly more armor than the average mage. Anyway, it does make my tank thief a little bit more effective. He's got lots of armor now. Still takes 14 damage. Alright, it's good. I mean, hey, all of this extra fighting, getting some level ups. We will certainly need those either way, so. Thinking about attacking with the Bard eventually, but... Come on, gamepad, Unity, controller. Hey, 3 damage, 3 hits from the gargoyles. That's actually a good sign. Because the gargoyles were definitely trouncing us earlier. I don't think we can hold up to the scorpions like that, but... Let's just see. I don't think it'll be killing all of them, but for science. Never mind. GG. Geomancer, helping. Yeah, the harp damage isn't terrible, but on its own it's not enough for that pack yet. I think once we get 32% hit rate, please run. I guess having the thief in the second or third slot means they're less likely to get stunned and more likely to actually get us out of here. I don't know. The songs are mostly useless because if you get paralyzed, you lose them all. So against undead, that is. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, I will use one more tent after that big run. I feel like I'm being pretty conservative with those still, but can't use 0. I refuse to save never. You know, that would be. I suppose there's nothing stopping you from doing an entire run, like Dark Souls mold, or whatever you call that. It's not exactly permadeath because you could raise dead, but no, if you get a wipe, it's just game over. I don't know. There's probably a rule set for that somewhere. A no-save run. That'll be my next... The next comment. Someone's going to comment that. Be like, Blue, how come you don't do this challenge? Because that's bad. That's not even fun. You'd have to play so conservatively. And there's so many enemies that can just be like, nah, you're dead. One random sorcerer encounter, and you lose like 3 hours of progress. I don't know. So I used to think Knight's Mini on turn 1 was the best play. I think now that we're starting to get some actual base armor, that's not always the case. Because sometimes I need some regen, basically. And we have to constantly babysit our heroes' HP values. Hide. Yeah, I'm glad I've got the Bard's regen, because although we can technically heal anywhere via Geomancy, you can't, like, you have to do random encounters. You can't just stick on one encounter and heal up, because you need to use random terrain to get your charges back, and that will kill the enemies, which means you'll have to fight more and more encounters. And I think the regen is probably just more reliable, because you can get your defense and stuff buffed up, and then you just sit here until you heal enough. The only Geomancer healing, like if you only had a Geomancer for healing in this type of group, that would be significantly worse, I think, than letting the regen do its job here fairly easily. I mean, it's slow, but if you stop inputting commands other than just skipping turns, it's not too bad, I guess. I don't know. How much? It's like 113. What do we get? Like 7 HP or something? 6? 119? Yeah, 6 HP-ish. It's not much. Is it honest work? I don't know. Hey, more levels, good. Alright, so what are we looking at? One more level will make a big difference for Yang. Vaughn is probably the strongest character at the moment because of the weapons we found. Isaac, definitely doing most of the magic stuff, which seems to be working. And Julian doing bard stuff. You know, the usual. 2 more levels for him and he'll be better against undead at least. So we are at an hour. I probably need to do some level grinding. At least 1 level. Before I want to go for... before I want to try the vampire. Probably. I mean, okay. Before I end the episode, I do want to check one thing, though. I want to see if there's any loot in the Earth Cave that we could just pick up early on that might be better before I start grinding. Because I'll be doing some grinding between episodes, as is, I think, pretty standard, I think. Let's see if there's anything we can pick up. I am looking at my thief searching table right now. Giant sword, tent, pure, plus the regular garbage on the first floor. Heal, better heal, pure potion, plus the regular garbage on the second floor. And there's nothing, literally nothing for us here. Oh. It's worse, right. Power stick. It's worse than a regular iron stick. Alright, that's fine. Okay. Cleaned up my inventory a little bit. I do have an extra copper bracelet. I am missing a pair of gloves, technically. Hoping there's a silver bracelet in Earth. The answer is no. Unfortunately. What is worth getting? There's not much. Oddly enough, my thief search thing doesn't actually have the new gear or the new treasure chests that are added for different classes, like the spear and the bell. But I guess there's an earth bell, which would make, if I'm grinding in Earth Cave, maybe... Oh, forgot Melman. Is there anything in Melman to pick up? Easy to forget. I mean, sorta. If we're going by never buy these, then this is fair. Kind of forget about that. Also, is there anything on our side of the Titan's Tunnel that's easy to pick up? Oh, good thing to check. Okay. This is a good one. You guys are going to be happy with me for checking this one. Those of you who are, like, memorized everything in Renaissance, I know where you should go, Blue. But those of you who are just watching along or falling asleep right now will be impressed. Just casual tubers. I won't let you down, I promise. Also, we should take these fights. I need the XP. At least 1 level, if not 2, between dungeons. Between episodes. Maybe some cold medicine. No, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I think it's just a head cold. I get a little stuffed up nose, a little bit scratchy throat, but I'm not even really coughing or anything, so it should be okay. Famous last words, but I generally have a pretty good immune system. I don't get very sick for very long, thankfully. Knock on wood, but there we go. Yeah, so silver bracelet, right? It's not crazy, but it does bump up our absorb total. Now, it might not necessarily go on the monk. As the monk gets closer to level 15, it kind of makes it less useful. Although I could put a, you know, the glove cap as well, and that puts him up to 17 or 18 or whatever, 17, I guess. I think there's an argument to just leave it on the Geomancer. The Bard hides a fair amount, so they take a bit less damage-ish. And the Geomancer is always around. But the way it works is 50% goes to the top slot, 25% of attacks go to the second slot, and then 12.5 for the bottom two. So it is more likely that Yang will be attacked and then take less damage than putting the armor on one or the other. And if the Bard is hiding, it's actually much more likely that Yang takes the hit than Isaac. And perhaps... I mean, I guess it depends on where you are, but... yeah, there's Earth Elemental, so like getting the Earth Bell will certainly make some of these more effective in the Earth Cave for grinding. And I think usually I would grind by Crescent Lake because you've got to to full heal, which means it's pretty quick to just burn your spells, take some damage, full heal, save, try again. I mean, that doesn't actually help us. So other than just fighting trolls and giants there, that doesn't really make this group any advantage, unfortunately, for this group. So the Earth Bell grinding in Earth with Earth Geomancy might be the best play. But if I want to do that, I need this episode to go a little bit longer. Because I want to get the items while you guys are watching. Prove that it's possible. Should have bought more tents. Forgot about that. If I'm doing some grinding, I will definitely have a couple set tents. I'm not going to grind 5 levels and never save, right? Like, that's just silly. Okay, well, let's try to clear out... Okay, the Earth Bell is actually... Well, there's a free Earth Bell after the Lich, which is silly. But the searchable one, I think it's on the third... The regular chest, I think it's on the 3rd floor, unfortunately. Well, let's do the full loop. There's a giant sword in Giant Alley. I'm not going to... It's a thief search. I don't think it's that big a deal. Let's just get a sort of vibe check in here. I'll pick up the garbage loot. Fight some enemies, see how we're doing against these guys. I think the first 2 floors of Earth we should be mostly safe. I don't really want to fight Earth Elementals. They're gonna do way too much damage, and the healing is too annoying. So we'll skip the Earth Elementals. I think grinding on giants in Giant Alley is probably how I'm going to grind. I've been trying to think of what the best play there would be, and that's... They're pretty tough, but I think we can find a routine to kind of heal enough and regenerate through it. I think one of the main things with giants is they only get 1 attack. So they tend to not scale as crazy as multi-attack enemies, right? What is their base damage? Just for science? A little bit of science. 36 to 72. Yeah, we're gonna be taking hits. But we'll, especially with a level 10 monk, they will start going down reasonably quick. Every heal potion is precious. I really need to not use those. I burned too many in that wizard escape. But I think we can fully loot floors 1 and 2 here without really too much thinking. Floors 3, and of course the vampire. I mean, we could try to kill the vampire, but... What would be the problem with that? It might not be that bad. I think... But the thing is, like, I definitely need some levels before we go after the Lich, right? There's no doubt. Okay, so I don't want to go to the other treasure room, because I'd have to fight an Earth Elemental twice. And I don't think that would be particularly useful. I think we'll just take a lot of damage if we do that. Probably someone will die, and they have to go all the way back to Canaria to spend 40 gold to heal them up. Earth Spikes? Is that good with this group? Very rarely. So they hit me for 11. They take half the damage we deal back. This might be the party where Geomancer has a lot of fun. I will have to think about a solo Geomancer run, I think. Because I think in a normal group, I thought that the Geomancer's like elemental themed stuff was kind of weak in the dungeons you got it. But right now, I'm feeling like these earth moves are actually pretty fun for this group. Like, that's a big heal and a big armor up. Not bad at all. That's good armor, I mean some armor and good HP. All earth AoE, not too much resist earth. Slow doesn't matter too often, but it's not nothing. And we can boost these with the Earth Bell if we get it. And then Earth Spike is, I think for most groups, kind of, I would say probably always not a great play. It seems like the enemies take half the damage that they deal, and you don't want them dealing damage, so I'd rather just go for an armor build than a no armor but reflect damage, right? Yeah, spikes, I think that's the problem with spikes. They shouldn't be based on the damage you take. Maybe it should be based on the enemy's attack, so they take like half of the damage they would normally deal without your armor. Maybe they can apply their own armor, I don't know, but basically by... If the enemies miss, or you have a lot of absorb and they deal 1 damage, it makes Earth Spikes useless, right? So it kind of punishes you for having a good character, which... Yeah, these are spooky. They will resist Earth. I don't think we can one-shot a Cockatrice with a Bard. Yeah, so I definitely don't want to be grinding on this floor. That's not a surprise. That might be the most annoying fight for us, because we're kind of limited on how many soft... unless I start buying them, we're very much limited on how many softs we can get. I am pushing my luck by doing this floor. I feel it. Our level is low. This is spooky. Are these officially resistant to Earth? No. Okay. Well, maybe. Let's see what happens. I don't like it. We didn't even get a turn. Julian! We just run away. We just run away. It's fine. Don't worry about it. There's something in the middle chest, but it's guarded by an Earth Elemental, so it's not worth it right now. I guess it's okay to hold on to the Mage Masher. Yeah, if you're fighting if you're attacking for some reason the Lich, this would be better than the Rune Harp. Maybe. It's debatable. Harp ignores armor. Okay. So far, almost at the Earth Bell, I believe. I forget exactly, but I think it's in the next room. Do we just try to kill the vampire? Nah, we gotta get out of here, right? We gotta lock in our gains and just try to get out alive, I think. Yeah, because stuff like this, you know? Do these guys officially resist Earth? No. Fire, ice, water, status, poison, stone. I mean, the armor would be nice, too. Slow would help, though. They get 2 attacks. If that works. If it's like Earth Elemental slow and not Status Elemental slow. And we need the Absorb if we're going to live this fight. Come on, give me a turn! Killed, slowed, slowed. Good. Armor up more. Oh, it's pretty spooky. Run for it, I think. I mean, the slow saved Julian's life. Turn order, not great. I mean, we survived. I have to use a couple or he's just gonna get picked off. Okay, that was one of the things I was looking for. Well, that was the main thing, to be fair. So that should make any grind with the Geomancer a significant boost. I think it is like 50% or more upgrade when you have those bells equipped. By the way, there are a couple items in here. I'm not going to go back, but there's another buckler, a soft potion, and a pure potion. I'm taking the minimum steps to get the heck out of here, is my plan. Run, run. Run. Maybe. Yeah. Good running. Thank you. Oh, this bat. Why can't we just all eat the bats? Wouldn't that be better? Okay, here we go. We can kind of test out some of our geomancy stuff on something safe. Stalactite. That did a lot more damage. Yeah, that's good. If I don't have to worry about wizards and stone birds and all that stuff, I think getting that bell was worth it. I think it'll make the grind better. So I don't regret that dive. And we succeeded again, first try. I bailed on fighting the vampire, but I think that was the right call. Next level will give us a pretty big, vampire killing buff. And I probably want at least 2 levels, I think. It depends on how slow it goes, because I'll be doing this off camera, so you guys won't have to watch, but that Earth Blessing is gonna... I think that's confirmed why I want to grind in this dungeon, rather than the usual locations. I think we get out, we save. I'll pick up the giant sword and test out some giant grinds here for this episode. A little bit longer episode, but this challenge runs just a little bit slower in general. So. Did I miss another treasure on that floor? There's like a pure potion. Okay, so I'll probably off camera buy a few tents just so I can save a little bit more often. I'm trying not to spend too much money, but saving seems like it's still worth it. So how will this feel if we try to grind here? Well, ambushes are going to be rude, but that's nothing unusual. We want to stay alive. We can't heal much, so we've got to throw that earth armor up early on. This is the strongest giant encounter style, basically. And until we get a level up or 2, this is going to be one of the more difficult ones. I think we go random because we want that heal as soon as possible. Yeah, Cave-In did good damage. And that restored this. Maybe we save that for the next fight, but... Let me try to get a little bit of extra regen here. Sure, we win, but that's not super sustainable if we get ambushed again. Gotta trust the thief doesn't get us ambushed that often. This is, unfortunately, not the fight I wanted. At least we're not ambushed. We get the heal off and the armor up a little. Damage output on the... crit for 100 instant. Killed! I mean, I just saved it, but yeah, that's not a good sign. 110 damage crit is really rude. Trying to get to the giant sword and call that an episode. It may be this is a grind we can't do until we get a little bit stronger. Maybe. The iguanas don't hit too hard at this level, So if we can not kill the iguanas, maybe that's something. Like, I do like the terrain to recharge, but it might be better to not AoE down the iguanas so that we can use, like, the regen effect. Because I think we need to start each of these fights at pretty much nearly full HP. And that will take a couple turns, basically. So, like, I'm good to go, stop using random terrain magic, and let the giant die, and make sure we're in good shape for the next fight. I have a feeling this is just, I have to play a specific way, and it's going to be a little slow. Sure, we can get this ready for later. Like, this fight went really well, but I need... Because if the giants can do 110 damage on a crit, it's not going to happen very often, but it will happen. No, I do want to hide, I guess. So yeah, you definitely want Vaughn and Yang to be pretty well healed up for every battle. I guess I could be doing the key heal thing from Yang, but see, this is the problem. But it's not the problem, but it is a problem. By taking 2 turns and having multiple menus of interaction, it's kind of too slow for the effect you get. Like, that's when I say, like, the amount of healing is too weak, it's because not only, like, it is free, but, like, how much are we going to get at the current level? Just for interest's sake, what does it give us? Last time was like 18. 19. That's still pretty minor for a healing effect, you know? Anyway, that was fair. One of these guys should be pretty much chill. We don't have to worry about this guy too much. Maybe we even go, like, aggressive mode when it's just a single enemy. Of course, the turn order, as always. Yeah, not sure the turn order plan was the real play. Armor. I know the armor doesn't actually stop the crits, but it's also a heal at the same time, so... Seems like that's the play for now. Yeah, I don't think you can slow giants. They only get 1 hit anyway. Yeah, this is looking... I feel like it's going to be not... What am I trying to say? Like, it'll be mostly reliable, but I really need to regenerate back up to full. Like, basically every fight. For now. Maybe after a couple level ups, it won't be too bad. But I'm going to need the max HP, and... I don't know. I don't know if it's worth trying to use... the boost thing. I think that it slows down the rhythm too much. It's kind of sad. It's faster to just skip turns and regenerate whatever 7 HP per turn than to input extra commands and then get an extra heal of... I guess it's technically more than regeneration because we get 19 every 2 turns instead of 6 or 7 every turn. But if you factor in the input time, the real life time, not the turn, like the action economy, the number of turns, it actually is probably less efficient, right? I think. It's maybe a bit questionable. If we're taking damage from the enemies, it would be probably better to focus on the key turn efficiency style rather than time efficiency. And if you had heal potions... or the ability to buy tents and cabins, or go to an inn, that is the fastest way to heal. So this is like the exact opposite of my fast grind strategy, which is probably why I'm so thrown off. Like, it works, but it is very slow. Alright. Sure. I think we gotta go a couple squares down here. We'll do a couple more fights, and then we'll call this a fun run. Also, the more of these I do, the more it provides evidence that this is a viable strat or not. Maybe I try to focus the giant down if I want. Like, he does the majority of the damage. Try to kill him first. Once we get, you know, one level up, the black belt will definitely be considerably better at killing giants, I think it's safe to say. Alright, that just means we're going to kill immediately, but we didn't take too much damage. Still, Yang is not at full. We're getting our levels. Okay, well that's fair too. I can show you what happens after this fight. We'll do random. RNG is my favorite. We actually got the one I wanted, though. Nice. Yeah, I feel like we fought enough giant battles to be like, most of the time this should be fine. Occasionally someone will get crit and killed, but as long as I use a tent once in a while and don't never save, and I guess if someone dies, we should just leave, you know, it's fine. You have to do one more. Okay, that's good. Perfect. One more fight. So this was the level where Yang is definitely going to be significantly better and ever closer to not needing this at all. And the thief is, you know, a little bit better, nothing too crazy. Once we get to level 11, which is definitely... I don't know how many levels I'm going to grind. Depends on how frustrated I get. Well, I guess it's 2 more levels, technically, right? You only get 2 hit... Wait, is it 1 hit percent on bards? That means it's 3 more levels? Oops. Maybe I misremembered how bards work. At 32% hit rate anyway, he will be able to clear those Geist packs at least, I think. Maybe that's the target, is I grind until I can easily kill Stun Dead with a bard. Maybe. Depends on how long it takes, but that might be the play. There, 3 hits, 64. You know, it's something. It does mean that the buffs are like twice as effective, though. So if I put the damage up buff from the Bard or the Geomancer when appropriate, he should be doing tons of damage, yeah. Already hitting for 100. I think if you put the Valor one on, that's 8 base damage. Probably more like 10 or so by now. Maybe. That's like a 50% damage up. Going from base... It's probably more than that because of enemy absorb. Going to 30 base times 4 hits with some crit chance. And theoretically, there's also some... sometimes, not in Earth, but sometimes there is the damage up one. Anyway, found that giant sword. That's what I wanted. Not like it can be equipped, but I just want to show it off. Anyway, let's call that an episode here. It's definitely longer than I anticipated, but you know, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna probably grind a couple levels. Maybe try to get that extra double attack on the Bard, because I'm pretty confident we could kill the Vampire and get out. But the Lich at this level, it's got a lot of AoE, Ice 2, Fire 2, Lightning 2 stuff. And there's not much we can do about that. Oh, I did forget one thing. Sorry. I think at the beginning of the episode, I forgot to mention that I did talk to the dwarves that taught me the hero rhyme. That was yesterday. So, the end of last episode, I was supposed to talk to the dwarves to get my song that you've been seeing. Today, someone probably already left a comment. I was supposed to go to Melmond and maybe Crescent to unlock the 5th song. And I forgot about that entirely. So the Mana's Peon boosts magic damage by 30%. And I should actually have that. It's Melmond, Crescent Lake, Crescent Lake. So it's a bit of a backtrack. I'll do that off camera. I've shown these off before. It's not anything super special. But I can get my 5th song. And it might work really well with the Geomancer with some luck. And the 6th song is Melmond, Sarda, Crescent, Gaia, Onrak. So we can't do that yet. But I can get one more song now. Yeah. We can't get Magic Defense. We can't get Crit. but we can get magic damage. So that will be another buff option. Okay, I'll end my episode here. I will go get the song, buy some tents, and some levels. And I think that's fair. Next time, we'll see if we can clear out Earth Cave. I don't want to over-level. Like, I think part of the fun with these challenges is to, you know, not just spend 5 hours getting to level 50 or whatever, but trying to do them at a reasonable level. I think 10 is maybe still too low for Earth and Lich for a casual challenge run. Like, I'm not trying to be super sweaty here. Yeah, I feel like level 13, if we get something like that, that's fine for a weak party. I think it's a pretty weak party right now, and yeah, I don't feel bad about getting a few levels. We're not gonna go to level 20, but a few levels will be okay. All right, that's all for now. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you next time.